Gravity, it's the ultimate sculptor of the cosmos, right? It shapes everything from tiny planets all the way up to the massive web of galaxies. We think we have a pretty good handle on its rules, thanks to giants like Newton and Einstein. But what if I told you that, on the grandest scales, those rules start to look, well, a little broken? Let's dive into a wild new idea that suggests gravity has a hidden rule we've been missing this whole time.
I mean, just look at that. A stunning spiral galaxy with billions of stars, all caught in this incredible cosmic dance. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's also hiding a huge mystery. Because when we actually measure how these things spin, we run into a puzzle that has had scientists scratching their heads for decades.
And yeah, this is the real head-scratcher. If you do the math, you add up all the mass from the stars, the gas, all the stuff we can actually see, the gravity just isn't strong enough. At the speeds these galaxies are rotating, the stars on the outer edges should have been flung off into the void ages ago. But they haven't. So what's holding them together?
Well, to solve this, scientists came up with a really clever, if a bit strange, idea: dark matter. The theory goes that every galaxy is surrounded by this massive, invisible halo of something. We can't see it, we can't touch it, but it's there, providing all that extra gravitational glue needed to keep the galaxy from tearing itself apart. And honestly, this has become the standard explanation for pretty much everything in cosmology.
But here's the catch. For over half a century, 50 years, we have been building these incredibly sensitive experiments deep underground, trying to get just one little ping from a dark matter particle. And the result? Nothing. Crickets. Not a single direct detection. And after 50 years of silence, you can't blame some physicists for starting to ask, what if we're not missing a cosmic ingredient at all? What if we've been chasing a ghost, and the real problem is that we've been misreading the recipe for gravity itself? Now, that is a huge question to ask because you're challenging Newton and Einstein. But what if gravity just behaves differently out on those galactic scale?
Okay, so this new idea introduces a concept called the density gradient. It sounds complicated, but the core idea is actually pretty intuitive. It says that gravity doesn't just care about how much stuff there is, but also about how it's arranged. So, in places where the density of matter changes really fast, say at the edge of a bright spiral arm, gravity gets a little extra kick. And maybe, just maybe, that kick is the extra gravity we've been looking for. No dark matter needed.
But look, in physics, a cool idea is just the start. It's a napkin sketch. To turn that sketch into a real, testable theory that people are going to take seriously, you have to build the mathematical engine for it. The equations have to be airtight.
So this was the first go at writing down the math. You've got your standard gravity on the left, and then this new term for the density gradient on the right. And it kind of worked, but there was a fatal flaw. Any physicist would spot it right away. It's dimensionally inconsistent. The units just don't match up. It's literally like your equation is telling you to add 5 seconds to 2 meters. The answer is just nonsense. It's a sign that the math is broken on a fundamental level.
So it was back to the drawing board. And this is the upgrade. See those new terms in there? The L star and lambda? They might look small, but they are absolutely crucial. L star gives the equation a proper sense of scale, a real physical length. And lambda is a new constant that dials in the strength of the effect. These additions fix that fatal flaw. They make the whole thing dimensionally consistent. It goes from looking like a guess to looking like real physics.
Okay, so the equation is fixed. It's mathematically sound. But that just leads to a deeper question, doesn't it? In physics, it's not enough to just say, here's a new rule. You have to ask, why is that the rule? Where does it come from? The best theories aren't just patches. They grow from some deeper, more fundamental principle.
And that's where something called the action principle comes into play. You can honestly think of it as the universe's source code. All of our most fundamental theories, I'm talking general relativity, electromagnetism, the whole shebang, can be derived from this one elegant principle. So if you can show that your new theory of gravity also comes from an action, well then you're showing it's not just some ad hoc fix. You're showing it might actually be a fundamental part of how the universe is written.
So, you see, there's a clear path here from a wild idea to a theory that people have to take seriously. You start by connecting it to what we already know works, like Einstein's theory. Then, you make sure your math is bulletproof and consistent. And the final, critical step, you show it comes from that deep, fundamental action principle. That's how you turn a hunch into a formal research proposal ready for the world to see.
All right, so with all that heavy lifting done on the theory side, it was finally time for the moment of truth, Let's test this thing. They set up a computer simulation of a real galaxy, but with one critical rule. You're only allowed to use the matter we can actually see. No dark matter allowed in the simulation. The big question was, could this new rule for gravity, all by itself, keep the galaxy from flying apart?
And the initial results were pretty exciting, actually. This chart shows an error score. Basically, how well the simulation matched reality. The lower the number, the better the fit. Using standard gravity, you get a high error. But when they plugged in the new density gradient rule, that error score went down. It was a better fit. It was the first sign that, hey, maybe there's really something to this.
And here's the bottom line from that test. The new math, using only the visible stars and gas, managed to produce a stable, spinning galaxy that looked like the real thing. You don't need the invisible ghost of dark matter to hold it all together. This was the first piece of hard evidence suggesting this new theory could actually be a real alternative.
So this whole journey, right, from that first what-if question through all the rigorous math and the successful simulation, it all came together in a formal research paper. And it was uploaded to the archive, which is where physicists post their work so that everyone else in the community can start pulling it apart, testing it, and seeing if it holds up.
So where does this new kid on the block fit in? Well, you've got the reigning champ, Lambda CDM, which is our standard model. It fits cosmic data beautifully, but it needs dark matter to exist. Then you have the main challenger, MOND, which is great for galaxies but struggles with bigger things. This new model's big strength is that it's tied directly to the normal baryonic matter we can see. Its biggest weakness? It's brand new. It's got a ton of testing ahead of it.
And I mean, this is really just the starting line. Nobody's taking a victory lap yet. There is a massive to-do list. You have to test this against thousands of other galaxies. You have to see if it correctly predicts how gravity bends light. You've got to make sure it doesn't mess up our understanding of the early universe. Oh, and it better work perfectly right here in our own solar system. This is the long, hard road that any new idea in science has to travel.
So, at the end of the day, we're left with this incredible question. For the last 50 years, have we been searching for a missing ingredient in the cosmos that was never really there? Or have we just been misreading the fundamental recipe for gravity all along? This new theory gives us a tantalizing hint that maybe, just maybe, the answer has been hiding in the stuff we could see the whole time.